What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk about Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy yet again. Hopefully, we're going to get to the end of this one day where we can finally say, okay, here's the announcement, here's the release date, let's talk about that, let's talk about this game as we're all playing it, right? I really am very excited to cover this game and be able to talk about it. And I wasn't even, I believe, on YouTube when these three games came out. Definitely not, obviously, 1 and 2, but I honestly don't think 3 either. Andromeda, I was, and obviously we know about that game, right? But let's talk about this because this is something that I actually spotted. I feel like I was almost the first one. Even there's a couple people on Twitter that are kind of like in this Mass Effect clique, right? And which is awesome to see. And I think I even maybe beat them to it as well. So Jeff Grubb, back on August 17th, so this was 2 days ago, 4:30 p.m., he put up his new summer game mess, right? Now, Jeff Grubb has been a guy that, I haven't been all that active on Twitter before. I'd say maybe like April or May. I didn't follow too many people in the gaming industry. I did follow a handful, but I didn't follow him, okay? I didn't even know who Jeff Grubb is. I will say that as the summer, really since May on, ever since he started doing this summer game mess listing, he has been, I believe, honestly, arguably, the best leaker out there. Now, Jason Schreier, I've always said, while I don't like him as a person, I think he is, the best leaker out there. I mean, Jeff Grubb has been nailing thing after thing after thing. He doesn't always give the full picture, right? He kind of gives teases oftentimes, right? Like open-ended things, but he's always, I think, very, very correct. And if he's off on something or if something moves, obviously, he's very, very quick to change it. So let's go over what he said. So this is his newest summer game mess. You have Wildcard Nintendo, which he put there on purpose because it fit in between whatever was above it and whatever was below, which obviously a DC Phantom. Now, the Nintendo thing was yesterday. They had that indie showcase. Now, technically, I guess Nintendo could still go again, but pretty sure that's what he meant by Wildcard Nintendo. August 22nd, DC Phantom. You got Batman. You got Suicide Squad. So for those people, it seems like those are the only ones. August 27th, Gamescom opening night. The 28th through 30th is Gamescom daily shows. More wild cards, Nintendo. So he does believe Nintendo will probably go again between now and the end of the month to probably do those Mario ports, right? So I think he's right on that as well. September, Xboxing Day, right? That is the Xbox, like when they're probably going to give the release date, the price, all that stuff on the Series X. I've seen other things before where he puts September for Sony too. However, there has been rumors that possibly Sony could go next week, but I don't think so. Then it's Jeff Grubb's Summer Game Mess 2021 begins. October, this is the thing that stood out to me, right? And this is the thing that I think is what he's teasing here. Remaster. Now, it's got the 2 S's, and if you think about it, the MASS, Mass Effect, okay? I feel like that's 1,000% what he means by that. That, in my opinion, is a tease to Mass Effect Remastered. Now, Jeff Grubb has been very, to be honest with you, everybody has kind of been very back and forth on Mass Effect Remastered. Was it coming out in November? Was it coming out in October? Was it coming out in March? People have been pretty darn certain, and I believe Jeff Grubb was maybe the first one to say, like, hey, it's in his belief. And I believe this was even the case back when they did that EA Play back in June, where he said, hey, it's not going to be here. They're not going to show Mass Effect, but the game is still launching this fall. I think he said November back then. So this was back in June, but that's what he said. He said it wasn't going to be at EA Play. They're holding off on it, but it is going to release this fall. Now, since then, obviously, there's been a lot of back and forth, right? Does the game come out in March? We know the art book of the game comes out in March, so there's one thing, right? At least we know that's coming out. But you have all this back and forth, and people have been very back and forth of, could it come out in March? Could it come out in February? Did this get pushed to 2021? Or is this still coming out in October, November, right? A few weeks ago, we've talked about it a couple times, right? The game retailer in the UK, you could pre-order it, and it was originally September 29th, then it was October 30th, and then I believe they pushed it back to the December 31st, like the placeholder. So I feel like, and I think they even said, I saw somebody say, like, they told people, or they canceled pre-orders, so pre-orders aren't no longer available for Mass Effect through this game retailer. So there's definitely been things that are kind of worrying. Now, when that first happened, my initial response or my initial thought was like, ooh, that kind of sucks. Like, maybe they're pushing it to that placeholder because they're not sure sure if they could fit it in this year, right? Maybe it's going to be pushed again till next year. So I was kind of on the more pessimistic side with something like that. But as time has gone on, it seems like, and it's, again, Jeff Grubb, he's really the guy who I look to for these kind of things now. I mean, this, again, the summer game mess, they've been very consistent. You know, whatever he's put on there has been very consistent with what he's written. So I think that absolutely, I mean, because again, like October remaster, firstly, why the two S's? Obviously, you're trying to fit Mass into that, right, for Mass Effect. Secondly, he has been one of the supporters that Mass Effect does come out this fall. And thirdly, there is really no other remaster that comes out in October. October is games like Star Wars Squadrons, Crash 4, Little Hope, Watch Dogs, games like that. None of those are remasters. And again, why the misspelling, right? So I really do think this is a hint. It's not outright confirmation. However, you could say, well, he's said it before. He literally has said he believes Mass Effect is coming out this fall. So put all those things together. Again, we know that from that person the last week, right, when we covered Mass Effect, she was talking about how there's an announcement in September. We've seen, actually, a thing that's also, because I'm trying to think of these like on the fly, the new like head of Game Informer, about like what, 5 or 6 days ago, I think like last Friday, he tweeted like Mass Effect. That's the tweet, Mass Effect. That's what he tweeted out. And it's like, okay, and I even wrote to him, I'm like, oh, come on. You know what I mean? So like literally everybody is kind of just like throwing these things out there. Really does seem at this point. Now, why do you wait until September to release the game in October? I don't know. It's not giving it a whole lot of room from when it's announced to when it's released. You're also releasing it, honestly, again, like it's awesome. I'm very excited for it. I'm going to be getting it day one. Like, it's cool to see more and more hints that's coming out in October. But I mean, I did list off a lot of those games, and I feel like I'm missing some. You also have possibly Lego Star Wars. Honestly, I feel like I'm going to be getting 6 to 7 games in October already, and that is not counting that. That's not counting a couple games that said like holiday 2020 release, right? Games even for like the PS5 or Series X that probably will release in November or could also release in late October. So you have a lot of games, honestly, coming out in October. Even September has a lot of games, but October and November are always packed. This year I feel like it's even more packed, right? Probably with next gen. So to put Mass Effect in that, it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of games to play. I'm not going to be able, me personally, I'm not going to be able to play all of them. I get Mass Effect, obviously, to Mass Effect fans, right? Obviously takes center stage. That's awesome. I can't wait for this. Like I said, I think we're getting to the end of this. I feel like honestly, here's my prediction. I will guess that within the next week or so, we should start getting like maybe some teases, because if September is when they announce this thing, I feel like you got to do it the first couple weeks, like the first 2 weeks of September. And honestly, with the way that this game has been going, with the leaks, with the back and forth, talk about this game, I can't imagine it just sneaks up on us one day, right? Like we're on like September 6th, we wake up and like, oh my God, like EA announces it. You know what I mean? I feel like we're going to hear about. It's not a game that can stay quiet. It's a game that we're going to hear about. Possibly we'll even get leaked. Like we'll see like a box art of it, right? Or we'll say, or somebody will come out there and say, hey, like from a trusted leaker, notable leaker, the game is getting announced this day, and it's going to come out October 30th, or whatever the date happens to be, right? So I think we're getting very, very close. I'm going to be excited. It's definitely going to be exciting when we can finally say, okay, like, thank God, finally, here's the release date of it. And again, I really am excited to play this game. So once we get there, there'll obviously be a lot of different kinds of videos besides just talking about leaks for the game, right? I'll be previewing it. We'll be talking about it. I'll be playing it. We'll be live streaming it, hopefully. There'll be lots of different videos for this game as we get closer, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think we're finally, getting close to the end of this little journey we've been on? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Have the bell icon turned on, so all these videos go up, and if anything else happens Mass Effect related, I'll be sure to cover it on this channel, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.